The modern healthcare system won't help you heal.
It's designed to keep you sick and dependent on drugs.
If you want to get well, you gotta get out of the system.
You found Predictive Health Clinic.
Join us as we get well and stay healthy.
This is the extended interview with Dennis Yu, and we're discussing more about hypoxia and a treatment for it and some of the cool things that can happen. Okay, Dennis, go ahead.
So I was in Hungary because I wanted to explore the source of all this, like all these other people that find out and want to go meet Dr. Lyons and, find out where it all started 20 some years ago. And there was this guy who, his name was also Robert, and he was 78 and he looked terrible. These patients when they're on their last legs and that they have a couple weeks left. I mean, the guy was so frail. He was old. He looked horrible. I'm thinking, this guy's not going to make it. And he went through the 2 weeks of therapy, just like I did. And I saw the color return, the energy return. And one of the things that they do at this place is they take your blood work at the beginning. They do a full panel. And then they measured along the way, and what Dr. Lyons is looking for, there's a few indicators, but one of them is your vitamin C levels. So these patients, they come in and they don't take supplemental vitamin C. They don't take lots of orange juice or whatever it is. But when he sees the vitamin C level go up, then that's an indicator that the body now, the immune system is now stronger. And the levels of vitamin C are so high that even if you did tons of IVs or supplementation, you can never get it that high. Because the body, anyone else in science as of today will say this is not true, but you can test it and measure it yourself. The body can produce vitamin C when the oxygen levels are high enough in the mitochondria. Because there's 4 markers that have to be turned on, of which, humans, one of them, only 3 are on. But when the immune system's strong enough, that 4th one's turned on, just like insects and birds can produce vitamin C, but the humans can't. So when he sees the vitamin C level go up, then we know that patient is on their way to recovery. And so I would ping this guy. I do it like every year now. And I'll say, hey, Rob, just checking in. You still alive? He's like, yep, still alive, man. I got my own tub installed, or I ordered the water, or I went back for another treatment. Okay. So every year I'm just checking in saying, hey, you still alive? Because he was given a turbulent prognosis. And I don't know, maybe it's like I'm a sick kind of person, but these patients, they come in bringing all their charts, right? And I'm looking at all the scans and they're bad. And they're on their last legs and they've tried everything, right? All their friends are trying to tell them to do all these wacky sorts of things. And I just love seeing people come out on the other side.
Yeah.
And you see a few people come out on the other side initially and you're like, yeah, maybe that's luck. Maybe it's anecdotal. Maybe it's, whatever, things you can't explain. But when you've seen hundreds with your own eyes, then it's all right. There's something here. I need to explore this. Because I'm a skeptical person, but I also need to understand this. This must be some magic trick of some sort. How does this thing work? My mom's not dead. I talked to her yesterday. How is this possible?
Yeah. How's this different from a hyperbaric chamber?
The hyperbaric chamber is one other modality of oxygen. So you can breathe oxygen.
It's a way to do it.
You can, there's 5 different ways you can get oxygen into your system. You can drink the oxygen water. So it's going inside so it's coating all your internal organs and absorbing through the tissue on the inside. But when you take a bath, then it's bombarding you with 400 liters of pressure. Once you get into the bath, Jack, you'll see what I'm talking about. You just need to experience it. But you feel like you're being wrapped in a blanket, because the pressure is higher and it's not saltwater flotation therapy. Some people say, oh, I float in the tank. There must be one of those sensory deprivation things. No, That's not what it is. It's just the composition of that water is slightly different. What I'd invite you to do is when you get into the bath, come to Vegas and turn your face over and try to put your face down towards the bottom of the bathtub. And you'll find you have to push your face down because you're more buoyant. And then open your eyes underwater. It might sting a little bit, and then tell me what happens. When I do that, I can hold my breath for minutes at a time. If you sit in that bath 30, 40 minutes, and then turn your face over, and then set a timer or on your iPhone or whatever, see how long you hold your breath. And there's all sorts of little fun things like that. Oh, you can light the water on fire. I literally, you know those
Yeah.
grill lighter
Well, I
things?
was wondering about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So I've been to the Dr. Lyons is kind of like secretive about how this stuff is being produced because it
I was
runs through
wondering. Yeah.
the set of metal oxide plates that are in the platinum group that are very expensive, and it gets heated up and treated and shocked in a certain way. It's electrolysis, right? You could do
Right.
electrolysis with stainless steel, which separates the hydrogen and oxygen, which is water.
Right.
But they do it in such a way that somehow the oxygen, a lot of it will stay in these long chain molecules. So when they're producing, when they have this old nuclear submarine looking thing in the back, which is what it's like these old refrigerator sized things that are stacked together. I've seen the equipment. It's weird. It looks like a mad scientist would have created it because he is. But they also have these like ventilation pipes above because when the hydrogen and oxygen get separated, that's flammable. So you have to push all the hydrogen out because otherwise the
Yeah.
room would explode, right? That would be
Yeah.
bad. But it's crazy because that's how the stuff is being made, and other people have tried to copy it, and other people have, but they don't have the research behind it, or they do it the wrong way, and then the water turns green or yellow or black if the oxygen level's too high, and that can cause oxidative stress, which is like rust, and actually damage your cells and cause patients to go to the hospital because you basically poison them.
When I was talking to my wife about having you on, that was one of the things that one of the questions I voiced to her was oxygen is highly corrosive in addition to being highly flammable.
Yeah.
And I'm
Jack, here's what I want you to do.
I'm
Come to Vegas,
skeptical, but
stop at Walmart or Costco and bring a lighter. Like bring, those lighters that are not, you can bring a Bic lighter if you want, but bring those ones that have at the end of the stick, you press the thing and the flame comes out.
Yeah.
Come to the oxygen bath. And then I want you to turn the grow lighter thing on and watch as you light the water on fire. I bet you've never seen, and I've got it on my phone. I'll send you videos of it. But
I assure you, I've never seen that.
And so you'd be like, oh, it must be like a trick. No, come out, light the water on fire yourself and see. And it goes pop like if you were stomping on Rice Krispies. You're like, what the heck is this? And I'm thinking this must be a trick. So I've tried to do it in like a jacuzzi when it's bubbling or what. I've never been able to get flames out of the water. There's something different about this water, right? I mean, you've never been able to light the thing on fire.
My chemical understanding is that of a music school graduate, which I happen to be, which means not very much. But my understanding is that combination of one hydrogen atom and two hydrogen molecule and two oxygen molecules is pretty chemically stable. So I'm guessing
water is, H2.
This is not
H2
really
O is
actually water. It's
no, but all water has some amount of dissolved oxygen. So this is where like all the chemists and the other science people want to come in and say, yeah, you have different ROS, reactive oxygen species, where oxygen it's true. Oxygen is constantly dynamic. You have O2, O4, O64, and oxygen is constantly reforming into different, what they call reactive oxygen species. But they found a way where the oxygen will stay and you get these long chains of it. Could be like O128, these chains that are somehow balanced in the water. Now, to make it be able to stay, you do have to have, as a chemist, you know that you have to have some salt or something to balance it to keep it in there. Yeah. So the pH is slightly different, but it's not like they're adding metal or dumping in tons of like potassium and table salt or whatnot. There's just a little bit of mineral necessary to keep that in there. But to light the water on fire, the way it's more buoyant, the way it feels like when you get out of the water, feel your skin. Women love this when they come out because it just softens their skin. There's all these other effects that come from the water. And you realize the water's different. It feels kind of slippery.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, you just need to. And so I'm trying to explain it. And I've tried so many times to explain to friends before they come in and do the thing. And then my friend Aniko, who had stage 4 pancreatic cancer and was given terminal prognosis. And, you see that like the size of her tumor is huge and all that. And, she 12 years, she's been cancer free. She runs that Cocoon Center in Las Vegas. And she tells me, Dennis, don't try to explain all this stuff to them. Just have them go in, let the water do the talking.
Yeah.
When they come out, then ask them about it. And then they have all kinds of things to say about it. Just my treat, I'll pay. I got my credit card on file, and I just want my friends to experience this, right? I mean, you can breathe the
Sounds
oxygen at the oxygen
extraordinary.
bars. You can do the hyperbaric chamber. You can
Yeah.
do all the meditation and yoga breathing. You can do all that. Yes, that all is great too, but this is another modality of oxygen.
Another modality of oxygen. Now I like that phrase. That makes it's a good way to frame it. I like that. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to try this. I was just complaining to my wife literally before we brought on the.
Bring you and your wife. It's your money or your life, you know? You and I, having made a lot of money in digital marketing, your millions of dollars don't do anything for you if you're not around to fully enjoy the quality of your life.
Exactly.
Like I had no idea. Dr. Ovadia taught me all about carbs and that whole thing about carbs. And, I thought carbs were great because that's what the American Medical Society said you should,
Yeah.
the food pyramid and that whole thing. And so I always believed what I was taught. Then I realized, wait, Dr. Ovadia, his fridge is just full of different cuts of meat. And that's what my fridge is full of too. And I eat bacon every day gleefully. I cook ribeye steak. I have one big meal a day. I cook
Yep.
steak, bacon. I have vegetables too. And I used to feel guilty about eating things with fat because that's supposed to be bad for you. And then I
Right.
realized, wait a minute, what I've been taught is wrong. All this
I-
whole time, I thought I was doing it the right way.
We all thought we were doing it the right way.
I was a distance athlete. I mean, I had a 70 VO2 max, which is almost as high as Lance Armstrong, which is higher than most professional Olympic athletes. I ran a 1:10 half marathon. Like I was going to be a professional athlete. So I did everything to try to maximize my oxygen levels. All right. Because, VO2 max is how much oxygen 1 kilogram of tissue can process, per minute. And so I trained to be an incredible aerobic athlete. Ran my first marathon when I was 14 in 3 hours. Right. Just
Jeez,
studied the heck out of everything to get the most out of my little body. Right. That I could, this little engine of mine. So that's where I went into physiology and I studied how this all worked and biomechanics and how just all these different ways to run faster. And I was doing everything that I could. But then, like carbo loading. Oh, you're supposed to do the
Yeah.
depletion, increase your base, and you taper that, all that stuff that you do for training. And then you carbo load big pasta meal a couple nights before because you want to increase your glycogen reserves so that when you run, you don't hit the wall when you do the marathon. And so I'm thinking like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to work, right? I mean, after all, the pasta is good for distance runners. I mean, look at Italy, they have lots of pasta. And then, wait, that's not right at all. Yeah, but if I don't eat carbs, I'm going to run out of energy, right? And I'm listening to what Dr. Ovadia is saying about metabolic health, and it's completely opposite of what we've all been taught. And he's a freaking heart surgeon.
Yep.
And I talk to other people that are like Dr. Philip in different areas of medicine. So the top folks in stem cells and exosomes, the medical director for Life Force, which is Tony Robbins' thing. I've interviewed all these other doctors on my podcast. And I used to be skeptical. I'm like, that's all just a bunch of witch doctors, voodoo stuff. But now I'm open-minded. I don't just accept whatever these doctors tell me, but I'm open-minded to actually explore. And I'm sure you are opening up Pandora's box every day by talking to these other doctors,
It's
right?
interesting. It really
Everything
is.
we can talk about, like cart therapy or curcumin and how that works in the body. I mean, just on and on, exosomes. I mean, there's so many things.
I am weary right now. And I'm just thinking, oh my God, this sounds fantastic.
If you're weary, increase the oxygen level in your brain, right? And then you go all day. There's 20-year-olds that run around with me. They can't even keep up.
I love it. That's what I want. I was telling my wife, I'm just tired of being tired. And it's just been here in the last couple of weeks. We're in the middle of a big remodeling project, and I got out there with my grandsons and did a bunch of demolition out in the heat.
Well, let me ship you
Arizona
some of the
heat,
water to drink then, because I've shipped some to, Brian and Jeffrey Eisenberg, who are in town. You know them.
Yeah, yeah.
And they've seen the effects. They have some private situations, which I'm
Right.
not going to reveal, but they're dealing with something, and I've been shipping them water.
Yeah. Let's try it. Let's do it. Okay. I think that's great. Best way for folks to find out more that you would like them to know.
I think the easiest thing is just go to Google and type in cocoon, which is Kaqun. And there's a
Okay.
whole rabbit hole you can go down. And then if anyone wants to reach out to me, I'm happy to answer any questions based on my knowledge. I'm happy to introduce people to anyone that I know. I just want to be an evangelist for oxygen education.
I love it. Did you provide me contact information? I don't recall.
I
You
did.
didn't you? Is that what I should share?
Yeah, feel free to share my info. Happy to share
Okay.
it.
All right.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right, Dennis, I want to be aware of your time. It's 10 minutes to the top of the hour. So, man, I really appreciate it. This is,
I mean it. I'm not saying it. I really do. Like this, these are people's
well,
lives that are at stake, and people don't know
yeah,
about this.
yeah. It's,
I have friends of mine that die all the
Brian
time.
said, you got to talk to this guy.
Look at this. So you ever have this, once you get over 40, you have friends that start to die, right? That's
Yeah.
just kind of life.
Yep.
And I'd see friends make these announcements on Facebook. Oh, I just came back from the doctor and I have horrible news. They found it too late. I have a few months left and this horrible thing. And everyone, of course, is empathetic and they all reply. So you get hundreds of these comments saying, hey, we're here for you. We're praying, fight really hard. And then a few months later, you get that note that's posted on their account from their wife or whatever saying, we're very sorry, but, Richard's died and, the funeral's going to be on Thursday. And, he fought really hard. And so we're all very sad. Right. And I've seen so many of my friends die. And I didn't want to say anything because I don't want to be one of those
Sure.
people where I'm just
Yeah.
like, because, the last thing you want when someone's having very, something private like this, because they all get bombarded whenever the diagnosis comes
Yeah.
in, because everyone wants to say, you need to try this special herb. You need to go see this doctor. You need to try this treatment. Right. So
Yeah.
and I just respect that. I don't want to bombard people with and be one of those people, respect their privacy. Right. Even though they posted on Facebook, they have cancer. And yeah. So, and plus I didn't really believe, I sort of believed in it. I've seen the effect on my body. I've done
Yeah.
the research. I've traveled to countries all over the world. I have investigated this thing up and down as a science data driven person, as Brian and Jeffrey and these other people will tell you, right? But even still, I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really willing to put myself out on a limb and say anything like this because I might be ostracized or people might think that I have some sort of like financial connection with this company. I don't, right? I think this is the most important living scientist on the planet today, this guy, Dr. Robert Lyons.
Wow.
So, but now that I believe in this thing, if you're a Christian, someone asks you, do you believe in Jesus? You're like, yes, I do. Right. And so now when people make these announcements or whatever, and they ask me about it, I'll say, very sad about, you got the cancer diagnosis and all this, but I invite you to check this out. And if you want to go to Cocoon and if there's one in your city or in your country, I'm willing to pay. I'm not rich, but I have enough money I can pay. Right. That way, there's no financial incentive or whatever. I just want people, and I have a lot of friends of mine. And the thing I'm most proud of in my life in terms of like accomplishments or what, it's not, I have the whole resume of marketing, as you know,
Yeah.
working, doing stuff for Nike or the, Starbucks or Red. I've done all, those are great, right? Spent $1 billion on ads, all that kind of, argued with Zuckerberg on TV in front of millions of people and beat his ass, all that. But nothing compares with friends of mine that are not dead.
Yeah.
The fact that I have a bunch of friends of mine that are not dead, that means way more to me than any kind of accomplishment I've had that's like in the professional world, And I'm not even a medical doctor. And a lot of my friends are not dead because they got more oxygen in their system.
This is just I'm going to hang up here and then I'm going to go Google Cocoon and
I want you and your wife to come
rabbit.
out here and I will pay.
I'll let you know when we're coming.
You and your wife choose a time so I can make sure I'm in town. And we'll all take baths together. We each get our own room, so it's not some creepy thing, right? You get 50 minutes inside the bath. I actually stay in a little longer. They give you a timer that goes off after 50 minutes, but I don't use the timer. I stay in for an hour 10. I just always want to get a little more. And there's a few things I want you to try when you and your wife get into the bath, like open your eyes underwater or hold your breath or see how buoyant you are or, measure, feel how your skin is coming out or before you leave on your first bath. Let's look at the ring around the outside of the tub and you'll be, oh, I feel embarrassed because I'm dirty or
Yeah.
No, it's not because you didn't take a shower. It's because toxins are coming out of your body.
What's inside you? Wow.
Yeah, because your body is now, once it gets energized, your body goes into detox mode. And you, not often, but I see friends, they break out into rashes and they get
So
itchy.
what I'm hearing is a metabolism that is not operating at peak efficiency. One of the side effects of that is a buildup of toxins.
Yeah.
Or maybe a chicken and egg. As toxins build up, the metabolism doesn't do as well. I don't know.
Your body's not
It
strong
sounds
enough to
like
heal itself. The immune system, when it's stronger, it's simply this, it's anti-aging, right?
Yeah.
So if you, Jack, and your wife were 20 years younger just for a couple hours, how much better could your body recover?
That would be deeply addictive as well.
So that's why I've done 1,000 of these, maybe like
Wow.
1,050. I haven't kept, I don't know the exact count, but I've done over 1,000 of these oxygen baths. I'm so addicted to these, like not in a bad way, that I do Zoom calls from the bath. I'm not there. People are like, Dennis, I don't have time for this relaxation and this whole thing. Like, I don't either. I don't lose a step in my day. I do Zoom calls. I do emails. I'm working, right?
Wow.
I'm a busy entrepreneur. I don't have time to sit and relax at the spa or be serenaded by nice music and these nice aromatic, whatever chemicals. Like I don't care about that. All I'm trying to do is increase the oxygen level in my tissue. That's all I want. And then once you and your wife, you just need to try it. Once you try it, then you tell me how you feel.
We're going to try it. We will do it.
And then book the date in advance, because the place is there. There's one in downtown LA, which is full of bums around that. I don't like that area of downtown, but Las Vegas is a nice place. And just book it in the calendar, because I've been there before. I'm like, I'm just going to walk in and they're full for the whole day. And then I have to drive away. I'm like, I should have booked the appointment,
All right. You said enough to make me want to know more and dig in and try it. I will definitely.
Yeah, I'm not some kooky guy who just believes random stuff that you hear on the internet.
I think that's the thing that I was a little concerned about.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite comforting that that your brain is wired the way it is, that you're a skeptic, that you're a numbers guy, that you're.
Yeah. I'm an engineer. You have to prove it to me.
You're an engineer.
Even if I see it with my own eyes, I still need to understand the mechanics of it. It's still not good enough. Even if I see my mom has overcome it with ovarian cancer, it's still not good enough. Even if I've seen hundreds of patients and I've been able to touch their wounds and look at their scans, and that's still not good enough for me. I just need to, on every level, logically be convinced.
And you're convinced.
I am. And most of my friends are like, Dennis, I don't know why you go to this level of research, because I tried it. It worked for me. That's all I need to know. And I say, you know what? The placebo effect is real.
Yeah.
So the fact that you believe it, that's good, but that's not good enough for me.
Okay. I guess I can tell Brian, thank you for introducing me. I'm intrigued. I think this is going to make a really fascinating little. I think we did it in less than 20 minutes. The part that I wanted to do. So
all I want people to do is, I just want to plant a bug in their ear to investigate. And then once that door gets opened, then find out what happened.
Are you a healthcare practitioner eager to escape the grind of corporate medicine?
Are you ready to make a massive difference in your world? Listen up.
We are the Wizard of Ads.
For 40 years, we've created dominant brands in a variety of industries.
Now, we're bringing our magic to healthcare.
We're seeking one extraordinary healthcare practitioner to help us build the first national brand in direct primary care.
If you think you could be that person, let's talk.
Email us at health@wizardofads.com.
Tell us why you think you're the one.
That's health@wizardofads.com.